I'm Nancy Aguillon. I am from Hendersonville, North Carolina. I'm a junior sociology major. I'm also the president of the Organization of Latin American Students. Our mission is to bring the Latin American students together on campus into an environment where we can express our cultures freely without any judgment, in union with people who are of our same culture, and also provide a connection between the Hispanic community of Winston-Salem and our campus. We have a lot of students that come from New York or Texas or Florida, where Hispanic populations are way greater than that of the Wake Forest student body. And so when they find our organization, they're like, oh, I feel like I'm at home. Me coming from Hendersonville, North Carolina, a southern white town, I kind of was already used to the environment here. Originally, my grandpa came here in the 70s. Then my dad, as the oldest male in his family, had to come here in the 70s along with my grandpa. Then around the mid-80s, he met my mom in Mexico. They had a daughter. And then in 88, my older sister and my mom came here through Arizona, of course. And the climate and the environment in Western North Carolina is very similar to Querétaro, where we're from. So they decided that it was the closest thing to home in Mexico and decided to stay there. My mother and father's towns are about 30 minutes away from each other. I've gone to both many times. Actually, my parents are the only citizens in their families. All my father's 6 brothers and sisters and my mom's 8 brothers and sisters are still in Mexico. And so we still have a very close connection to there just because all our family's over there. We're the only ones that are really over here. That's why I find a deeper connection with Mexico than I do here, because all of my blood is over there. Life there is definitely a lot less luxurious than here. We definitely appreciate every last bean that we have, every last grain of rice that we have. There's no life in abundance, and I think everything is valued a whole lot more than here just because you have to work a whole lot more to get it, to earn it. My parents, when growing up, they hadn't lived here more than a year or two. They still hadn't assimilated to the culture here, so they had none of the American culture to offer me. So of course I grew up with their customs and traditions from Mexico. So that's kind of the atmosphere I grew up around. We like going to the Catholic Church and following all those traditions that were identical to those of Mexico. So the only real American culture I had was in school. And even then, I didn't really understand a lot of it because things were so different at home. They became citizens in 2000. My mom did so before my dad. I remember helping them with their exam and seeing their pride when they finally got their citizen and got to say the Pledge of Allegiance and everything. So I was there when my mom became a citizen. It was really nice to see her and her pride to have come so far. Growing up, I always was kind of like criticized because I wasn't born in Mexico or any Latin American country, but I still had this deep connection to the country. But I feel like where you're born doesn't really matter. It matters more how you're raised and what values and what traditions. And so I was actually the very first person on both sides of my family to be born here. So I say I'm a pioneer. But I feel like, yeah, definitely they had a lot of pride in me because I was the first citizen of the United States. And they, like, ever since then, they've put a lot of trust in me that I'm gonna do well. I'm gonna, like, be the outcome of why they decided to come to this country.